Hi, this is Ed Kelly with Summit Journey Coaching, and today's lesson has to do with mercy and goal achievement, an interesting mixture. So let's define mercy, and it's not the normal kind of mercy when you're having mercy on somebody else, but we want to talk about mercy towards ourselves, what is called self-compassion. And the truth is that self-compassion is comprised of three different things, kind of combining together. First, it's having self-talk that's a little bit kinder towards ourselves. Many of us are much nicer to other people than we are to ourselves, and we talk harshly inside of our minds to ourselves. We're very hard on ourselves, so we want to pay attention to that self-talk. Secondly, when we realize that we're all connected to human beings, we're just human. We're not perfect. We're all imperfect people. We all suffer. It's much easier to have self-compassion when you're not sitting out there siloed trying to be perfect, when you realize you're just a human being like everyone else. And finally, you want to bring a balanced perspective to your everyday life. Every day is not great. Every day is not horrible. Every day is just life. There's ups and downs, and it's a balanced approach. It's not always wonderful. It's not always horrible. It changes day to day. And so kind of a balanced perspective. And where these three intersect, that's what we call self-compassion. So there's some wonderful science behind self-compassion. First of all, the myth, not the science, but the myth is that self-criticism helps you motivate yourself. If you're hard on yourself, you'll do better. Just keep pushing and pushing and never accept that you're good enough. Well, many of us that are type A behaviors, we just think we have to always excel. We do that to ourselves, and that's a myth, because the science shows that when you're self-compassionate, you're actually far more likely to do your best, to be successful, to achieve your goals. In fact, when you're not having mercy on yourself, the science shows you're going to have stress, possibly anxiety, and too much of it can actually lead to depression. Whereas when you have self-compassion, you're far more likely to be happy. Again, this is what the research shows. More likely to be happy, have an optimistic view about yourself in the future, and have a more stable sense of your own self-worth. That's pretty powerful. So the studies show those with self-compassion have less fear of failure. Again, you're likely to be less fearful when you have a good sense of self-worth and you're optimistic. You will tend to see failure as a learning opportunity rather than a definition of yourself. And you can adapt when your goals need to change. Sometimes it's just not the right goal. You need to change goals. And if you're self-compassionate, you're not going to think of that as a failure. You're just going to realize, oh, that just wasn't the right goal for myself. One of the ways to be self-compassionate is to celebrate. And not only celebrate the successes, that's pretty easy and obvious, but celebrate the failures, not because you failed, but because you're learning from your failures. And often that is where our best learnings occur. We're going to learn more about ourselves and the world from some failures than we often do about our successes. And so celebrate that. We want to celebrate everything that we're learning every day. We want to celebrate when we hit dead ends, because a dead end is an opportunity to turn around and go another direction. So hallelujah. We want to celebrate unexpected turns. And in fact, unexpected turns is kind of a funny term because there's actually expected turns. Life is going to turn. It's not a straight road. It's not a straight line. Celebrate that. And finally, and maybe even most importantly, if you're in the game and you're just working and you're doing what you need to do, what we call the key activities, celebrate that and celebrate it every day. At least you're in the game and you're working hard. So let me help you get into action. A simple way to do it is on the website, summitjourneycoaching.com. There's a little thing called My Accomplishments Today, where you can go each day and give yourself credit for the things that you did. Not beat yourself up for the things you didn't do, but give yourself credit for the things that you did and how you acted, that you actually got into action and accomplished something, and what you learned, key learning. And it might have been something you learned before, but you relearned it today, or it came back to you in an important way today. So we hope you can get into action. Be nice to yourself. You deserve it.